Today we're going to be covering the Quincy Quarries and the dark side that comes with it. On this channel, we're going to be doing a bunch of cannabis interviews, documentaries on other stuff as well, but we'll also be doing a lot of Boston content, stuff that is going to be talking about the dark side that happened along with some of the historical places that Boston may not fully be aware of, but they look at these sites as very historical spots. So to know the history of them is something that I feel is not only very fun for the watcher, but is also very eye-opening to see the very interesting history that we all come from. This spot right here is the Quincy Quarries. It is well known for being a very deadly spot, not only for the fact that people used to jump off into the water in a different area than I'm showing you right now, but I will show you in a minute where they actually used to jump off. But some of the rocks used to be just as high as that one right there, or still are just as high as that one, and people actually still recently jump in. Let me show you a video.
Going? Yes, right now it's already going.
As you can see in that video, it is bizarre that someone would even trust it to jump in like that, but it is what it is. There's a lot of people who will take risks and will find fun in the whole thrill of taking that risk. So is it surprising? Not really. People didn't die just jumping in though. People were also thrown in. This was a spot where people were actually tossed in as a burial ground if they were involved in some crime, stuff along those lines. As you can see, there's shoes in the water right here. This is bizarre, of course. This is definitely a very eerie spot to be in. The water is black, you can't really see all the way down, and there's just this weird feeling that you get when you're in this area. It's definitely not a space where you just want to be hanging out with a sober mind. I would say that. It's definitely a spot that I would imagine only is frequented by people who are consuming different products like alcohol, shrooms, or cannabis and stuff along those lines, which, hey, it's fun. It's a cool spot to go if you are doing something along those lines, I guess. If you've seen the movie Gone Baby Gone, this is actually the spot where they throw the kid into the water. I don't want to spoil the movie too much for you, but this is a very interesting spot because of that. Of course, that movie was very famous, and not only that it was famous, but it was just a amazing movie. So if I can give you a recommendation, go check that out. And although I am not sure that there was any babies thrown into this water over here, I'm not 100% positive, but I know for a fact that there was this girl from Stoughton, Massachusetts, who was tied to a board, obviously killed first, but she was tied to a board and thrown into the water. It's crazy, but a place like this, it's not that surprising, kind of, which is really scary because just the whole feel of walking through is just bizarre. It's very bizarre, let's say it like that. I think that this place is very much beautiful. There's a lot of beauty here, but there's also a lot of just weird feelings that you get when you're walking through. But why is it so dark? Let's explain. So where we're going right now is up to the top of this area. Of course, there is a lot more spots throughout this whole crazy area. It was originally a granite links quarry where they would take a bunch of rocks, and they were using all of these rocks all across Massachusetts. They were using it for all types of reasons, and it was some really good granite. It was really valuable, and they definitely got a lot of use out of it. At the end of the day, though, it left a lot of opportunity for some really sketchy activities to happen in this area. As you can see over here, we're going to walk over this spot. You can see a bunch of shrooms painted all on the rocks. It's beautiful. It looks really cool. But one thing you can notice on a lot of these rocks is they say RIP to a lot of different people. Not quite sure if these people were just people who frequented this spot a lot, which I would assume, but it's really eerie. It's really a spot where you could just tell isn't necessarily supposed to be frequented by humans right now. I think that the water is just this creepy look to it where you can see a reflection from above, and it's just really weird. It's really, really weird, but honestly, it's still a beautiful spot. There's a lot of beauty in a spot like this, and people used to just jump off into the waters. There was cars that were getting dumped down there, so people were actually jumping right on top of cars, right on top of those boards, right on top of all of these different things that are just scattered in the water because people were being lazy and whatnot. But as you can see, there's a rope there on the tree. People were clearly using that to just dive into the water. And over here, this spot used to be full of water as well. They had to drain this because I guess this was an area they were finding a lot of bodies and a lot of different things. From what I know, there's only been 51 people found. There is speculation that there still is people in the other water that I just showed before. We're not quite sure. Who knows? I guess if you really scanned through and checked, you would know, but it's just so scary that people still will jump into this water, still use this spot as a spot to have fun and whatnot, which, hey, I've been here plenty of times to smoke some weed, to do all types of things that are not necessarily smart to do in a place like this, but it is so crazy that we come over to this spot and we see that there is shoes right there. As you can see, there's shoes just left out into the water. God knows why, who knows. I would safely assume people were jumping into the water and some friend that isn't necessarily the most organized or friendly of friends was just being a dick and threw their shoes into the water. Hopefully that's the case. But as you can see, there's shoes right here. There's shoes, let's see if we can show the other ones. There's shoes in a lot of different places. It's just amazing that they all come over to this spot right here. See, there's another pair right there. I think there's another one in the water, as you can see. I don't think you can see it actually. So just an amazing spot. I don't want to harp on this too long. As you can see, it's just filled with weirdness, filled with amazing sights, and I really will look to do a longer form video on this whole place, just because this place has so much interesting spots that are just within it. But this one right here, I think, was a great segue and a great introduction to the weirdness that comes with Boston and just comes with this area in general. Of course, there's been a lot of situations where Whitey Bulger was out there in the city causing a lot of chaos, a lot of situations that people just were in a lot of fear over, which, hey, that is what it is when it comes with when you allow stuff like that, people will take advantage of it. And the factor of Bulger working with the FBI or whatever, that really opened the door for him to just create a lot of chaos. And also, as you can see on some of these rocks over here, there's a lot of shrooms and a lot of psychedelics that are painted on these rocks. There's a theory that Whitey Bulger was actually part of the whole experiment where they were giving acid to different people and reduction for them to get out of prison earlier. Do I know this to be a fact? No. But there is a person who was a witness in his conviction who said that they felt so bad when they found out that that was a fact, which is very interesting. I don't know. This is definitely a place that has a lot of beauty, but it also has some dark past that come with it. And anyone that knows this spot knows it for both sides. They know it for its yin and the yang. They know that if you're going to go there, not only do you have to be safe, but you also most likely are going to have to be under some sort of influence of something, which, hey, it is what it is. We all have vices. We all have ways of having fun. And as long as you're doing it in some sort of way where you're managing your self-awareness, then go to a place like this, check it out, have fun, but be wary. You don't want to end up in the water like that. You don't want to end up in a situation where you jump down into the water and land on a car and die over some quick fun. But hey, much love. I will have a Whitey Bulger mini documentary coming out very soon. There was a very interesting side of his story that I haven't seen a lot of people cover, and I did mention it in this video, but I'm going to go into greater detail and explain why I think that that is possibly a reason for him creating this chaos and creating this monster that we all not had to be fearful of, but had to take notice to. So much love and appreciation for you watching this.